You know, we're all searching for some kind of inner peace, right? Something that actually sticks. But it feels like the world is always pulling us outward with stress and a million distractions. Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful framework from Eastern wisdom that completely flips the script on how we deal with all of life's challenges.
All right, let's just start with a quick personal check-in. I want you to think back, just over the last week or so. When you felt that friction, that spark of anxiety, stress, or even anger, where did your mind go? Who or what did you immediately blame?
Well, if you're anything like me, or pretty much anyone else, the answer is that about 90% of the time, our finger points outward. It's the traffic's fault, it's my boss, it's this situation. And look, this isn't some personal flaw, it's a deeply wired human habit.
And that's exactly what we're calling the 90% blame game. It's our go-to move, our default setting, to look for the cause of our inner problems out there. But here's the big question. What if that's the very thing that's keeping us stuck? This wisdom suggests there's a totally different way to play.
And this right here, this is the absolute heart of it. Instead of getting lost analyzing the situation, or the other person, or what they said, the real path to peace demands a massive shift in focus. We have to start studying our own reaction. The work isn't out there, it's in here.
So what happens when we actually do that? When we stop playing the blame game and turn our gaze inward? What do we even find when we start digging underneath all that surface-level noise?
Well, you can see the two paths pretty clearly. On the left, that's the cycle most of us are trapped in. Blaming, chasing happiness outside ourselves, reacting to every little thing. It is exhausting. But on the right, that's the path to peace. Studying our own stuff, realizing happiness is an inside job, and learning to just observe life without getting totally swept away.
I love this metaphor. Just picture your inner peace as this beautifully shining floor. Now, life is messy, right? It's going to throw dirt on it. But the shine itself, it's never actually damaged. Our true nature, that core of peace, is always there. It's just covered up. So what is all this dirt, anyway? Well, it's all the mental conditioning we've picked up over the years. It's that impulsive habit of thinking, if I just get that thing, I'll finally be happy. It's a mind that's just constantly seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. It's layers and layers of automatic reactions we've never even bothered to look at.
Okay, this might all sound a bit abstract, but the process for cleaning that floor is actually super practical. This isn't some vague concept. It's a clear three-step path. It's a system for going from being a victim of your circumstances to becoming the master of your own inner world.
So here it is broken down. Step 1, you just have to recognize the pattern. Start catching yourself in the act of playing that 90% blame game. Step 2, you have to really understand deep down that the real solution is internal. And step 3, the most important one, you have to implement a daily practice to actually do the work. Honestly, the first two are kind of useless without the third.
But the moment you decide to do this, to actually implement a practice, you're going to run smack into your biggest obstacle. And it's not your busy schedule, it's not other people, it's your own mind. So let's talk about how to deal with the constant traffic jam inside your head.
This opponent, it has a name. We call it the default mind. It's that part of you that's been conditioned for years to look for peace and happiness somewhere out there. It's impulsive, it's distractible, and its main job really is to fight you on this inner work by throwing up endless excuses, hesitations, and distractions.
Think of your mind like a highway. The default mind creates rush hour. It's just a constant stream of thoughts, bumper to bumper, so dense you can't even see the road itself. But the highway, that underlying foundation of peace, it's always there. The goal of your practice isn't to get rid of the cars, but just to let the traffic thin out until it's like midnight, and you can see that clear, open road again.
So how do you deal with the default mind when it throws a fit because you're trying to practice? With a simple technique called persistent sitting. Your mind is going to scream at you, "I'm too busy for this. This is boring. I don't want to do this." Your job is just to sit. Keep your body still and just watch the mind's tantrum without getting involved. You just notice the rejection until it finally runs out of gas.
And this quote, it says it all. It literally does not matter what your mind says. You don't argue with it, you don't negotiate with the resistance, you just gently but firmly keep sitting. And success is that moment when the mind finally gives up the fight and becomes quiet and receptive.
Okay, so we've got the problem, we've got the solution, we've even got the technique, but none of it, and I mean none of it, matters without the single most important piece of the puzzle,
consistency. This is the absolute, non-negotiable key to any real change.
And we have to be really honest with ourselves here. On the left is what we often claim our regularity looks like. Oh yeah, I practice most days. But true regularity, the kind that actually works, is on the right. It means no missed days, no exceptions. It means practicing even when you're tired and staying alert while you do it. It's a commitment without any loopholes.
And let's just call out the #1 excuse our default mind loves to use. I'm too busy. This quote just cuts right through all of that nonsense. If you are waiting for a time in your life when you're not busy to start doing this inner work, you are going to wait forever. That time is never going to come.
But here's the payoff for that consistency, and it's real. You can feel it. You might start out only being able to touch that state of calm for, say, 5% of your practice time. But with that unwavering commitment, that can grow to 25% or more. And that is a huge, noticeable shift in how you experience your daily life.
This is the mindset. This is the thought that changes everything. It's a fundamental shift from trying to find time for your practice to making time for it. You decide that your inner work comes first, before all the demands of the day have a chance to pull you back into that external chaos.
So, in the end, it really all boils down to this choice. And it's a choice you have to make not just once, but every single day. Your default mind will always be there, ready with 1,000 perfectly good excuses for why you should just wait till tomorrow. But that other part of you, your discerning mind, the one that truly seeks peace, it's there too. So the question is, which one are you going to listen to today?